Բարև ձեզ հարգելի բարեկամներ, Սփյուռքի ձայնահեռուստահանդեսը դարձյալ ձեզ հետ է։ Այժմ ուզում եմ ձեզ ներկայացնել Միացյալ Ազգերի կազմակերպության հովանու ներքո դոկտոր Անի Kalayjiani ունեցած դասախոսությունը ներողամտություն եւ փոխըմբռնում թեմայով։
The New York Academy of Medicine invited Dr. Ani Kalayjian, who is a board-certified expert in traumatic stress and a psychology professor, to speak about her book, Forgiveness and Reconciliation, as part of the ongoing Arthur Knight series. The New York Academy of Medicine has been advancing the health field since 1984. Dr. Kalayjian's humanitarian work, scientific research, and publications was recognized by the New York Academy of Medicine last year as she was inducted as a Fellow of the Academy at the graduation ceremony held in November 2010. In her deeply moving talk, Dr. Kalayjian recounted her personal history of trauma and how it has shaped her professional goals. Her parents were survivors of the 1915 Ottoman Turkish genocide of the Armenians, which wiped out 2/3 of the Armenian people, and she grew up experiencing the effects of trauma through her parents' suffering. Dr. Kalayjian also spoke of growing up in war-torn Syria, experiencing gender inequality, and then facing discrimination in the U.S. after immigrating here at age 15. She received a death threat in Turkey when speaking about the genocide at a conference, and then suffered the loss of her best friend, Hrant Dink, who was shot by Turkish extremists in 2007. She also described the lasting effects of the genocide on the Armenian community in her research 2 decades ago in Turkey. Overwhelmed by the seemingly impossible task of confronting this legacy of trauma, Dr. Kalayjian found a source of inspiration in Viktor Frankl, the Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist who was also a Holocaust survivor. When she took a class with him in 1989, a piece of advice he offered stayed with her and ultimately influenced her work.
The quotation really nice. Anger and resentment is like taking a poison and expecting and hoping that someone else, our perpetrator, will be dead.
At the same time, Dr. Kalayjian argues in her book about people and societies that they need to move beyond these negative traumatic effects so they can heal, and forgiveness is an important part of this process. She is the founder and president of the Association for Trauma Outreach and Prevention of Meaningful World, a non-for-profit charitable organization affiliated with the United Nations. She has organized and led humanitarian psychosocial missions around the globe in over 30 calamities, both natural and human-made.
The proverb says, when one helps another, both are made stronger.
Dr. Kalayjian ended her lecture with a Q&A where the audience had a chance to share their opinions and their struggles with forgiveness.
The New York Academy of Medicine has Author Night, where we bring in medical doctors and we talk about very specific medical issues. But this was a bit different for us because it really was about transformation and healing. And it was a wonderful, wonderful, inspirational lecture. And I think it brings a different perspective to the medical issues of healing, trauma, forgiveness, very holistic approach.
So I really think that Dr. Kalayjian was brilliant for for creating this concept of reconciliation and forgiveness and applying it to the example of the Armenian genocide in Turkey. So I think it was very informative, and I think her book is a must for not just Armenians to read, but also for everyone who wants to learn about forgiveness and how to forgive and how important that concept is in life in general.
One of the most important points, I think, about what Dr. Kalayjian said was, if we wait for someone else who has harmed us to apologize or to acknowledge what they've done, we wait a long time, like for the Armenians, 96 years. And that's a problem, because when someone hurts us, they take our life away. If we stay unforgiving, we agree with them. You get my life, I get nothing. So if I say, no, I'm not waiting, I'm going to forgive now for me, because I want my life back, and I want to be connected to you, then I have freedom and power to learn something from what happened rather than just agree with them, yes, I should die.
Today in the New York Academy, I think they were very extremely receptive to the notion of forgiveness, and many of them were from different nations. A lot of them had traumatic past in their lives and were suffering from that anger and the revenge, so they were feeling the relief. In the Armenian community, it angered them, and they did not know how they can move from anger and justice to forgiveness. But in this audience here in the New York Academy of Medicine, they were all ready to embrace this phenomena, and they just were grateful. They were saying, oh, thank you, we never put those things together, how it can help us. They thought of the other person, or maybe forgiveness is important for reconciliation. You don't need to reconciliate, it's just for your own health.
Dr. Kalayjian's books, Forgiveness and Reconciliation, can be purchased on Amazon or at Springer Publishing.